afternoon or evening to you all out there. My name's Adam from Jim's IT, Penrith and Blacktown for another tech video. Now, this is more pointed to those of us that play around with different images, say Linux, Windows, things like that. When we need them on site, it's easy to have them on one USB. So typically, most technicians would have a USB for Windows, XP, not XP, that's a long way away, Windows 10, Windows 11, and the different versions, and Linux, Windows Server, things like that. What I'm going to show you is a tool called Ventoy. Ventoy allows us to have one system or one bootable USB with many operating systems on there. So you might have your testing tools like Medicat or a Windows boot, a Windows PE boot that allows you to test things, or MEM64, things like that. And that all can be included on your USB. So let's have a look here. We'll go straight to the Ventoy website. It is Ventoy, VENTOY.net, and that will bring up the site for you. So you don't have to worry about all this other stuff over there. So if we look up here, on top of the screen here, there's our site up there. Oh. We have a look up there. There we go, Ventoy. And now, so what that will allow us to do is come onto the Ventoy website here and find out what we need to download. It's a free service. It's an open source product. So the first thing we need to do is come into downloads. There's a lot of different things you can do with Ventoy. You can come in here and play with lots of things. It's got lots of different plugins that you can create and play with. The first thing I would suggest that you do is simply just come here to downloads, and that will allow you here to actually download the Ventoy program. So we'll go to Ventoy, downloads, and select the one you want to use. So typically when I download it, I use the Windows installation here. Obviously I'm using Windows. You've got the Linux installation, and you've got a live CD as well. The live CD is a lot bigger, as you can see. So the live CD comes in at 186 meg, where the download only comes in at about 15 meg. So it's not a huge program whatsoever. So let's hit it and download. It comes to a screen here ready to download. It's a bit strange, I think. It gives you that option. You have to come and select it again anyway. So obviously we're going for the Windows install here, and we hit save. Now I've already got Ventoy on here, so it's going to ask me, do I want to make it a different name? I'm just going to go yes. It's the same version, so it's not a problem. And off it goes and downloads. So we open up your downloaded application. Now you might be using a different browser than I am. I'm using Brave here. So if you're using a different browser, you may have a little menu here, and you come down and you downloads. Or you simply just go straight to your downloads folder, and it should be in there. So once you go into there, we show in folder. Let's open it up and see what's inside. It's simply got a folder in there. So what we need to do with that folder is, there's a couple of ways we can do it. Obviously, we can just go to right click and go whatever you're using for your compression files, or we can just go extract all, and that will extract it to anywhere that we'd like to extract it to. Or we can just go, I'm sorry, I've got a cat here that's fighting me to use the keyboard. We can open it, double click like you're doing normal file manager. We can right click and we go copy. This is my preferred way. I've got more control over it this way. And then I want to go to my desktop, and let's pop it onto the desktop here. As I said, I've already got it there, so it's going to ask, do I want to replace it? This won't happen for you unless you've already got a copy of it on your computer. So it's on here now, and let's open up that folder. In this folder, it's a bunch of stuff. But the only thing that we're going to worry about for our first attempt at using Ventoy is just simply loading it up. So we don't need to install anything. We don't need to have any components. We're just going to go to Ventoy to disk. Windows might ask you, do you want to run it? So Windows has just been a little bit secure here, so we just go run. Give it a minute to come up. Oh, I know why it's not coming up. It's got a Windows, another option here. So yes, if that comes up, we want to run it. And it tells us straight away, it pops up. Okay, this is the package that I'm currently using. Sorry, this is the package that's available, and this is the package that is going to be installed. So we can go update if we need to. We're not going to bother doing that. So what I'm going to do is make sure I select my USB that I'm going to use. I've got a 120 gig SSD drive that I'm using for my Ventoy disk, because then I can include quite a lot of stuff on there. Now, just a warning message here that once I hit install, whatever drive I select here is going to be completely wiped and Ventoy is going to be installed. So in my case here, it's this drive over here, my E drive, my G drive, this one here. So it might have a different name for you, obviously. So what we're going to do now is go install, and it's giving us that warning and saying, hey, look, I'm going to delete everything on this drive and I'm going to install my own thing on here. Is that okay? Yes, for me. The device will be formatted and all your data will be lost. It keeps warning you so you know exactly what you're doing. Yes. Yes. So it gives you that few warnings just to make sure you're aware that you're going to lose all the data on that drive. It's very, very quick. So Ventoy has been successfully installed. Okay, great. So let's exit out of Ventoy and just have a look what is now on our disk here. So I'll go to Ventoy. Look, it doesn't appear to be anything, does it? This area here is your location to pop your ISO files. So you'll have two partitions. You can't see the second partition on the drive, but if we now go to Disk Manager and look at our new drive here, the big drive that we just created, this is the drive, this is the area that it's running the operating system as such, or the bootable, or the bootable area, the GPT, sorry. So when the computer boots, it says, hey, I want to boot from here. This is the system partition. This is your storage area. So it's only taking up such a small area to boot from. This is your grub in Linux terms. So it boots up on there. So yeah, you've got the two partitions, and you won't see those two partitions there. You only see, so there's your boot partition, and there's your storage partition over here. So how do we get ISOs on there? How do we get things to boot? Now, obviously, you're going to need to download your own ISOs. Windows, you can download those. Linux, you can download those. Okay. Now, I have them stored because of the work that I do. So let me find my ISOs, network, my NAS, storage, ISOs. Right, so I've got a bunch of ISOs here. This is a video I'm doing shortly. I haven't ran it yet. I'm so excited to have a look at the Commodore OS. So to start with, I need to install Linux server on one of the computers that I have here. So I'm going to grab that. I'm going to do normal Linux Ubuntu because I love that anyway. So, and then I will grab Windows 10, the international version, and Windows 11. And this tool here is a tool that I use for system maintenance, system checking, things along those lines. So I've got the two versions here. So it's basically a Windows PE, it's Windows boot disk that allows us to do checking and things along those lines. So what did I do there? I simply copied it. So right click, copy, and then we go over to our Ventoy installation over here. Yeah, it appears there's nothing there, but all we do is right click and paste. And that will then drop all the things on the drive that I would like to boot from. So we'll let it copy it over, and then when it's copied over, I will show you what's there, and then I'll actually show you it booting on a computer behind me. So basically, guys, I only copied a few things over because it was just taking way too long. Because I mean, it is a big drive. This is what your drive will look like after you've copied over some of your information or some of your ISOs. So it's basically like a storage drive, a hard drive, or whatever. That's exactly what it will look like. And when you boot, it will actually list those and ready for install. Right, so once we boot up from our USB, this is what we are met with. So in this case, I'm going to select the top one, the Ubuntu installation, and it asks me, do I want to boot in the normal, grub, whatever. Just say normal in this case. So everyone, I hope you enjoyed that video and you found it helpful. I'm going to try to do a few more of those type of things, but coming up, I'm going to be redoing my whole office space in here. So I'm going to be using Home Assistant more. I love Home Assistant, I just haven't used it much. Now, if you want to get a good Home Assistant video and work out a few things on how to use it with AI and stuff like that, Network Chuck is one of the best resources you can go to. His videos are awesome. So jump over to Network Chuck and have a look there. But yeah, we're going to be walking through installing AI locally. We're going to be walking through updating my whole network setup, installing things with Docker, things like that. So if you're interested in those type of things, come back. I'm also going to be looking at security for your kids. My daughter loves Roblox, but I hate the fact that I can't see what she's actually doing on there. So I'm going to be looking at seeing if I can install a mirror on there or install software without her knowing that's on there so I can watch what's happening. She's 10, it's on invasion of privacy. I don't care what people think. There's so many predators out there, I just want to protect her from that. So guys, thanks for watching and I hope to see you next time.